Good morning. It is April 8th, 2024. This is episode 131 of the Paul Green Comedy PaulCast, a podcast by a dreamer for all of you beautiful dreamers out there. Stand-up comedian, actor, and improviser Paul Green coming to you, documenting my journey as a comedic performer in this crazy world. So, yesterday, I talked a lot about discipline and mostly about how I don't have a lot. And ironically enough, in that episode, I talked about how it's really important for me to release these episodes at 8 a.m. and that I've hardly ever missed releasing them at 8 a.m. And then I released yesterday's episode at 2 p.m. I was 6 hours late. And why was I 6 hours late? Because I had filmed it and I thought I had uploaded it, but I was so freaking tired that I actually happened to fall asleep. So I had it recorded and I had it edited, which I don't do a lot of editing. For those of you who watch can clearly tell. So I released it late. So the whole episode about how I need to be more disciplined, and then I was not disciplined. So there you go, everybody. That is the world I'm living in. Just blatant hypocrisy. Which is why I don't, man, I just give people a break as much as I can because, I don't know, for me, good habits are just so hard for me to keep. And I try and I download apps and I set alarms and I write vision boards and I journal and I do everything that I possibly can to put myself in the right headspace to try to move forward with certain goals, certain disciplines, certain habits. And it just very rarely ever sticks. And then I just have to just kind of keep trying. Okay, I'm gonna not eat sugar for and then, I'll do it for 2 weeks and then go, I really want that candy bar. And what I am trying to do more and more is give myself a break of a Kit Kat bar during the middle of my no sugar habit. Just kidding. Not be so hard on myself, because there's two ways to look at it. There's probably multiple ways. I will speak binarily for simplicity's sake, because we always like to go low definition. By the way, yesterday, I was thinking about yesterday's podcast, and I think I used the word high definition when I meant to say low definition. Do any of you follow me closely enough to actually remember if I used the word high definition yesterday, but the context in which I was speaking, I probably meant low definition? I meant low definition as in we're pulled way back and we're just looking at a couple pixels. So anyway, when it comes to trying to set certain goals, certain habits, and breaking them, to me, it usually how I would handle that is, I would mess up whatever my good habit was, an eating habit, an exercise habit, an artistic habit, such as writing every day, filming a podcast every day, releasing an episode at 8 a.m. every day, that sort of thing. And it would be really easy for me to go like, that's it, I messed it up, forget it, I'm done, never doing this again, and that was a waste of time because I only did it for 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month or a day or whatever. And then it's just really easy just to fall back into the old habits, the old patterns. What I have been trying to do more in the last couple of years is, instead of sort of having this, I'm either all success or all failure, is just allowing myself to be a little more nuanced, a little more forgiving of myself, and going, okay, let's take the sugar one. Okay, so I was going to, stop eating sugar for a month, and I stopped eating sugar for 2 weeks, and then I had a candy bar. Is that a failure? Or can I look at that as, I didn't eat sugar for 2 weeks, and that's better than had I eaten sugar for those 2 weeks. And the fact that I ate sugar today is not reason to throw away all the progress. And I just go, all right, I had this candy bar. That's fine. Just start again tomorrow. Not a big deal. I don't have to internalize it. I don't have to generate this heavy narrative about how I'm a failure and I can't do anything and blah, 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 blah. At least those are some of the talk tracks going on in my little noggin. And I'm trying to adapt that more and more. I'm not perfect at it, but that's okay. In that same context is, okay, sometimes I'm going to break a habit and I'm going to beat myself up over it, and just know that I might do that. And then after I beat myself up at it, that's fine. Now just try again. Set the pattern, set the habit, do whatever I feel is important for me to do, whatever is in alignment with whatever goal I'm trying to achieve, and move forward and just keep trying. So I would like to publicly declare the following habits that I need to recommit to. It's 3 categories, but there are 5 of them. Number 1 is to do a minimum of 10 squats, 20 sit-ups, 20 push-ups a day. It's so freaking easy to find the time to do that. And when I say squats, I don't even need to have weight. Literally, me just squatting down is really good for my back, for my legs, for stretching. If I'm at the gym, then yeah, I'll do like squats with weights on them. And then 20 push-ups, 20 sit-ups, super easy. I could knock those out in my bedroom in probably 3-4 minutes. So that's number 1. Number 2 is I have one of the most horrific soda addictions. It's really bad. I drink soda all the time, and I don't need a lecture on how bad that is for me. I am aware of that. Thank you for letting me know that drinking high fructose corn syrup by the gallon is not good for the human body. Don't need a lecture. I have done so many iterations of soda fast, soda diet, and the only one that I have ever kept was I did the 75 hard. Those of you who are familiar with that program, the 75 hard, I did the 75 hard program once, and for 75 days, I don't think I missed what my goal was. And if I remember correctly, my goal was 6 days, no sugar, one day cheat day. When I say no soda, I actually mean no sugar soda. I would allow myself diet, or, like Coke Zero or whatever. So just trying to get the high fructose corn syrup, which, of course, as we all know, is in everything, out of my diet. I did not include carbs in that, which, of course, as we all know, carbs become sugar. But again, I'm like, I'm not one thing at a time. Let's just focus on alleviating the direct sugar to bloodstream consumption of, pretty much just soda and sweets. And yeah, I'm going to have some bread and that'll become sweets, but I'm at least reducing my sugar caloric intake, drastically, just based on the sheer volume of how much sugar I drink. So I am going to reinstitute that, which is 6 days off of the sauce, of the high fructose corn syrup. I give myself a 24-hour window. So from, Saturday night till Sunday night, or I might do Sunday night to Monday night, because I eat dinner with my mom on Sunday or Monday nights, and she likes to make desserts, and they're really good. So maybe that'll be my cheat day, is whatever night I'm having dinner with mom. And why the 6-day, 1 day? I'm actually taking a page from Tim Ferriss's book, For Our Body, I think. And his philosophy was, if 6 days of the week you're really committed to something, your body is going to adapt to that. And then you can give yourself that 1 day cheat day, just so it just makes it more manageable. And I agree with that, at least in my mind, because for me to go, I'm never going to have sugar ever again. I am 24 hours, 7 days a week for the rest of my life, never going to have sugar. That's just not really practical. But for me to go, yeah, I can go 6 days. And then on the 7th day, when God rested, I will be drinking Dr. Pepper. And then I can kind of get it out of my system. It just makes it, for me, more digestible. Yeah, see what I did there? All right. So that's the other thing. So we're gonna do squats, sit-ups, push-ups daily. We're gonna do 6 days, no sugar, 1 day cheat day. And then the last thing is to write 3 new jokes or bits. And that directive came from my buddy Andrew, which if you've been following along, I've hired him to mentor me through this transition where I'm trying to get good at writing. I feel like I've always leaned on my performance, my theatrical capabilities on stage, my improvisational abilities. But I've always struggled with the writing element. And quite frankly, talking about discipline, I have not disciplined myself to write enough to have mastered that craft, to where I really started to figure out how I need to write, really what my voice is. I'm kind of all over the place when I write. I have a lot of different types of writing that I've experimented with. And again, because I have a strong performance background, I can sell most things theatrically and performance-wise. But I think if you were just to look at my writing on paper, it's not very strong. Matter of fact, my buddy Jim, who I've talked about, he was talking about that Saturday night. I think he said it was Chris Rock. Kind of Chris Rock's litmus test is he'll write his new jokes and he'll write them on a piece of paper or whatever on note cards, and then he'll go in front of an audience and he'll just say the jokes with no performance, just to see if the writing in and of itself elicits laughter. And I think that is really smart. And I started to look at a lot of my material, and I'm going, I don't think a lot of this writing would pass that test. I think a lot of it is just me making this face. And if I make that face, people pretty much laugh no matter what I'm saying. So I went to the store the other day. It's hilarious. It's a bit of a cop-out. So if I can get my writing to be as funny as this face, and then I have that writing and that face, now that is a winning combo, I hope. All right. So my buddy Andrew challenged me to write 3 new jokes, and his philosophy is 90% of what comics write, if they're really writing and they're really doing it, will get thrown out. And that's just the volume of work it takes to mine a comedian's mind, to mine their mind for the comedic gold. And I have not come anywhere close to living up to that standard. My writing has been more sort of inspiration-based or life event-based. Something will happen that's pretty significant, and so I can just sit down, and because it's so real, it's actually pretty easy to write about what's real and what's happening to me, especially when I'm trying to be more honest in my writing. The problem is that well runs out really, really fast. And so what I am looking to develop, and the skill set that I'm looking to develop, and the volume of work that I'm looking to develop, is a capacity to sit down and write new material until the inspiration finds me. Actually, no, it's the complete opposite of what I just said. Until I find the inspiration. What has been happening is the inspiration has been finding me. A couple of years ago, I had a big breakup. It was very traumatic. So the inspiration found me. I called the suicide hotline one day for the first time in my life, and I ended up hanging up the phone because the phone menu was too long. And I'm going, oh, that's this real thing that happened, and that's kind of funny. I bet you I could turn that into a bit, and I turned it into a bit. But, that was one traumatic life event that I was able to mine for comedy. I don't have traumatic life events every single day. Most days are boring and the same as the last day. So what I am now trying to step into is a disciplined approach to writing until the inspiration comes, writing to find the inspiration, and being totally okay writing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bad jokes. And then through that process, beginning to develop the talent and the skill set to write enough to where I'm able to really craft well-written stand-up comedy bits that are also in my voice, that are also truthful and honest, and would be funny even if I didn't make this face. Sorry to all of those who are listening. You'll have to watch the YouTube to see the funny face. All right, everybody. So you are more than welcome to hold me accountable. I will be checking in daily on those goals. So what is that, 5? Right. We have sugar. So no sugar 6 days a week. Squats, sit-ups, push-ups. I'm going to kind of call those ones, and then 3 jokes. So these 4, the 3 jokes and the sit-ups, push-ups, and things, I mean, I could theoretically, depending on how fast the jokes come, I could pound those out in 10 minutes. Maybe it takes me a little bit longer to come up with something. Maybe it takes me an hour, but I think it is more valuable to do a little bit of something every day than a lot of something once and then not doing it again for weeks and weeks. I think it's a lot more valuable to write 10 minutes every day for 6 days than to write 1 hour one day and not write the rest of the week. So that is my challenge to myself. And all of you out there supporting me on this journey and listening, if I don't bring it up, feel free to slam me in the comments and be like, hey, Paul, how those goals going? We didn't hear from you. Did you not mention it because you didn't do it and you're ashamed and you don't want us to know? Or did you just forget? We'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Paul, which one is it? And then I will let you all know how that goes and what results may follow. All right, everybody. That's what's going through my mind here on the Paul Green Comedy PaulCast. I hope that your dreams are going well, that you are finding the courage to set goals, set habits, and if they don't go well, give yourself a break, Don't turn a misdemeanor into a felony. You said, I'm never going to drink sugar again. And then you had sugar. Go, I had sugar once. Let's go ahead and not do it the next day. And that's totally fine. You are still loved. All right, everybody. Let's go get those dreams. Keep at it. Thank you so much for listening to the Paul Green Comedy PaulCast, April 8th, 2024, episode 131. I love you all so much, and I will talk to you tomorrow.